Good evening, everyone. A woman reported missing in Delta Junction has now been found alive. At about 3:45 this morning, Alaska State Troopers were notified that 23-year-old Tatiana Ionescu of Anchorage was located and was with family. She'd been missing since June 30th when troopers say she ran her car into a parked vehicle in Delta Junction and then ran away on foot. Troopers say that Ionescu had come upon a man camping, which is in an area near Delta Junction. He gave her food and warmed her up before taking her to her family. Earlier this week, we spoke with the missing woman's roommate. This is what she had to say about the disappearance.
I can't see that from her because she takes ownership of her mistakes, and it's just not like her to ever be missing. Some people, you know, you can kind of assume maybe they're missing, but she's always been very punctual, so this is very unlike her. I thought maybe like on day one she's hiding, but by now it's like it's Tuesday already. It just doesn't seem normal.
Officials with the Chugach National Forest are reminding hikers to be cautious around glaciers after a woman was killed by a collapsing ice cave at BYRON Glacier yesterday. Channel 2's Cameron McIntosh was at the glacier today and has the latest details.
One person was killed and 2 others injured here at BYRON Glacier after officials say an ice cave collapsed on top of them.
Family members and bystanders were able to free 32-year-old Brittany Catherine Bogle from the ice, but were unable to save her life. The other 2 people, a man and a 6-year-old boy, escaped with minor injuries. On Thursday, dozens of hikers were at BYRON Glacier. Many of them said they hadn't heard about the deadly incident. The Chugach National Forest is urging hikers to be careful, saying that glaciers like BYRON may look stable, but can definitely pose a number of dangers.
Glaciers are always moving. The ice fields that happen close to the glaciers have water running under them, and that's what sometimes creates those bridges or those cave-like structures. And so we ask for people to be very cautious and not go into those particular areas.
In Portage, I'm Cameron McIntosh, Channel 2 News.
Anchorage police have identified the body of a man found on the mudflats on Saturday. Police say the man is 27-year-old Robert Dushkin III, who disappeared in January. Police say Dushkin was from the village of Sand Point and was living in Anchorage at the time of his disappearance. He was last seen January 7th in South Anchorage. Autopsy results are pending, but investigators do not believe the death is suspicious at this time. U.S. tariffs on billions of dollars of Chinese goods are supposed to go into effect just after midnight tonight, and China is expected to impose retaliatory tariffs moments later. Channel 2 reporter Rich Maurer has more. Rich.
Maria, there's a lot that remains unknown about the tariffs, and it's unlikely we know much more at this time tomorrow. According to one official, tariffs don't even apply till mid-July, but as if things are not confusing enough, other experts say tonight is the night. I talked to officials involved with fish marketing and economics. They're very concerned because of the importance of the Chinese market for Alaska fish. It's a $1 billion market, Alaska's single largest international market. But Alaska's biggest market is the rest of the United States. In the great scheme of things, China may be important to Alaska, but Alaska is a pretty tiny part of the billions of dollars in trade between the United States and China. And on top of that, all the information on Chinese tariffs comes from a 4-page email document written in Mandarin.
Our understanding on this whole topic is difficult just because of the uncertainty, but the best available indications are that these tariffs from China will go into effect at some point on Friday.
So, Rich, are there any other reasons to be optimistic that the tariffs won't kill off any of the trade?
Well, Maria, more than half of Alaska's exports to China get processed further there and sent on to other countries and even back to the United States, such as into fish sticks or fast food fillets. These fish will not be subject to tariffs, experts say.
All right, thank you so much for that update, Rich. Music, food, and sunshine, a great combination, and it's about to get underway in downtown Anchorage. Happening now, prep is underway for Live After 5 at Town Square Park. We still have some time to make it down for the festivities since it starts at 5:30. People are already there at the food booth, so as you can see. According to the Downtown Partnership, the music series includes food along with a beer and wine garden. Tonight's entertainment, the local group H3. That's the Polynesian reggae band known for their 3-part harmonies. And the weather is absolutely perfect for that tonight, Jackie. Sun's out, and tell us about the rest of that forecast.
Well, we are looking good as far as the forecast go. Wonderful once again, the sunshine prevailing here lately. So glancing at the satellite and radar imagery, showers are building to the west and north, and they are drifting east. So some of this energy could be coming our way for tonight. Still fairly nice though. And we'll see partly to mostly cloudy skies. Low temperatures, they're going to be fairly warm. We're currently at 77 degrees tonight. Eventually they'll dip to about 55. And there is some sunshine, but even some isolated showers possible on our Friday forecast. High temperatures into Saturday. It's going to be hot once again, anywhere from 75 to 82 degrees. So warm, even bordering on hot temperatures can have a downside. That would be leaving your kids or pets in hot cars, so don't do that. We'll have more in the forecast coming up later.
And more warnings about that dog. It's a real safety threat. We'll have more on that later. Thanks, Jackie. When we come back, the president lists the top picks for his Supreme Court nominee, plus an update from the dramatic Thai cave rescue. And taking a look at those closing numbers on Wall Street, technology and healthcare companies have led U.S. stocks broadly higher, setting the market on track to break a 2-week losing streak. The S&P 500 rose 23 points. The Dow gained 182. Rescuers are still trying to figure out how they're going to get those 12 boys and their soccer coach stranded inside a Thailand cave out safely. With millions of gallons of rainwater being pumped out of the complex every day, the operation commander says the waters are receding fast. 3 chambers next to the boys' cave are now completely dry, and he has asked the divers and a doctor whether the risk is worth taking. Many of the boys are very weak, and there's a question of which one to take out first. Rescuers are tempted to attempt a fast rescue because although the weather has been cooperative, monsoon rains are forecast for the weekend, which could flood the whole cave complex once again. Coming up, Alaskans had a smashing good time at this unique 4th of July tradition. It's the visual story you just will not want to miss.
Sunshine and warm summer days. I have that, as well as a cool down next week. You might really like that. Stay tuned for the 7-day.
Most communities have a signature way to celebrate Independence Day, but one Alaskan town launches its festivities to a whole new level. Channel 2's Victoria Taylor was there and brings us this very unique event.
That's right, Maria. So for more than a decade, the Glacier View community has been coming together on the 4th of July to let cars fly. Arnie Hernser had the idea to launch cars from this lofty cliff when he says his wife hit a moose with her car and it was no longer drivable. On Wednesday, a snow machine and 7 cars took off from the tracks to thrill a crowd of a few thousand. And this year was a little different because they added the second track. So for the first time ever, there was a double launch.
Either that they're going to launch and have a crash in midair, or they're about a 30 or 35 degree different angles, or they'll just cross. So how's it going to turn out? The thing is, you can't practice this.
Okay, so for those who are wondering, Victoria, what happens after those cars land at the bottom of the mountain? What happens to them then?
Sure, they were all cleaned up and hauled out by last night. The majority of glass and fluids are removed before they even get put onto the track to help speed up that cleanup process. And maybe not so surprising, the snow machine was doing really well once it landed upright and even kept running for a while.
Oh my goodness. Now we should say at 6 on the News Hour, you have a whole other story on this, and we'll definitely want to be watching.
That's right.
Thank you so much. Well, the Humane Society in Juneau is warning residents of the real danger pets face as temperatures rise. The warning comes after a dog in southeast Alaska died Tuesday from a heat stroke. In the post, the Gastineau Humane Society offered sympathy for the pet and its owners, but also underscored the danger inherent in hot weather. And high temperatures can be deadly. We've learned that time and time again with animals being left in cars. Jackie, you've calculated some of the risks. Please share that with us.
That's right. It doesn't take long for temperatures to get to deadly levels when you're talking about kids and pets. So let's take a look. We do have some shower development and still very warm conditions, but we're going to talk about these temperatures. So it's specifically related to cars. When the outside temperature is 70 degrees, after 10 minutes, your car's going to heat up to about 89. And after about 20 minutes, it's close to 100 degrees. And after that, it's beyond 100. So if we up this temperature to to 75 degrees. Then after 10 minutes, it's already 94. You go to 30 minutes, it's close to 110 degrees. This is why it's dangerous for both humans as well as animals to be left in cars that are not air conditioned. Don't do that. Here's a look at the time-lapse imagery. We've had a beautiful day, still plenty of sunshine out there, even with the addition of some clouds. And our current temperature from Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport, a balmy 74 degrees. The record high on this date, also 77 from 1999. We'll continue to see evening sunshine and then morning sunshine again. And Friday, as well as Saturday, could be even warmer. Now, it's tonight and even into tomorrow that we see that chance of some isolated showers. Right now, more to our north. It's a ridge of high pressure that will be building in behind this disturbance that's been dropping down out of the north. So shower activity into interior Alaska, also through the south central area. Quiet now out of southwest Alaska as the high continues to build into that part of the state. And then temperature-wise, it's 68 in Fairbanks, so a little bit cooler, but plenty of 70s still showing up on the map out of McGrath, Kodiak, the Anchorage area, stretching into western Canada. 83 degrees in Juneau. It's been a warm one for several days now for southeast Alaska. Here's some of that shower development, kind of moving right over the Tyonek area and drifting toward the Anchorage area. It's warm into the inland areas with 78 in Wasilla this past hour, 72 into Valdez, and 61 for Homer, but very nice, even into Iliamna, high 60s. Very scattered showers. They're mostly offshore of southeast Alaska because, you know what, that ridge of high pressure is helping them enjoy some sunshine. Now, we do have a couple of areas of low pressure skirting through the Aleutians. They'll see some rain, but we will be on the sunny side through at least Saturday night. Sunday, that's when our changes will start to occur, and we'll see a little better chance of some scattered showers here. Now, for your forecast across the south central area, nice weather prevails. Some isolated showers for Glen Allen, up to 80 degrees for tomorrow. Matanuska, Susitna Valley, yes, July shines on with 81 degrees expected around Wasilla. Mid to upper 70s for Kenai and Soldotna. Whittier, also a nice sunny one. Our 7-day forecast, a scorcher of an Alaska day, that's what we would say. When you have temperatures that'll go from 75 to 82 both Friday and Saturday, and overnight lows on the mild side. So this is the kind of summer weather that sun worshipers love, but you do have to be careful. Use that sunscreen, and again, a caution about kids and pets. Don't leave them in hot cars.
And it's a really important tip because the festivals are happening over the weekend. Some people don't realize you can't bring your dogs and think they're going to leave them in the car. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for that warning, Jackie. From the long jump to team bowling, Alaskans are competing at the Special Olympic World Games. We'll have an update. Plus details from a Midtown fire. Those stories coming up next. Just 2 days left of the Special Olympics USA Games in Seattle, Washington. Channel 2's Patrick Enslow tells us how our Alaska athletes are doing. We hear they're doing great.
Maria, it's tough to believe it's almost already over. Now, Team Alaska strictly business yesterday on the holiday with 8 athletes competing. Now, Palmer's Garrett Stortz winning the level 5 golf event. Congrats to him, shooting an 84, 91, and 87. The unified bowling team took 2nd place, while Aisha Abdul-Jalil placed 5th in the 200-meter run, and Pam Stevens competing in powerlifting, taking home 2nd place, with 3rd place finishes in bench, deadlift, and overall. Now, coming up later in sports, I will have that, plus the BP Invite kicks off today. Maria?
Excellent. We wish our athletes the very best. Thank you. Well, let's take another look downtown at the live After 5 event in Town Square. You still have time to make it down there. The festivities look like they're underway. They actually officially start at 5:30, but there's still a lot going on. You'll find music, food, along with, yes, even a beer and wine garden. And it's especially nice out there tonight. Don't forget tonight's entertainment, the local group H3, which is the Polynesian reggae band, known for their 3-part harmonies. Definitely worth heading downtown for that. Fire crews were out in force responding to an early morning blaze. Dozens of engines were seen rushing down C Street just before 5 this morning. This was the scene on the 6,000 block of Nielsen Way. According to AFD, 16 units responded. Crews say they could see fire pouring out of the front of the building and working up the stairwell. Firefighters are on the scene. Also said that the initial call told them that there might be people inside, but they didn't find anyone there. Luckily, there were no injuries reported.